Okay, everybody, it's market update time, Temecula and Murrieta, and I can honestly say that AI has made these market updates really, really precise, and I've switched up how I'm doing it. I'm not doing just 0 to 30 or the last month anymore. I'm actually comparing 0 to 30 days from 30 to 60 days. Why am I doing that? I just think it paints an overall, it's a better picture for you to see what is going on in the market moving forward. And it's going to enable you to make better decisions. We're going to talk a little bit about average sales price, average price drops, days on the market, what might happen in December, January moving forward with these two cities. So this market update is to keep you informed. Make sure you watch through the whole thing. I also want to mention, I am not going to read the statistics off for you. I don't want to make this video 35 minutes long. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them on the screen for you to read. And then you can pause the video and then I'll go in and just give a few bullet points of what I see happening. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the data from 0 to 30 days about Temecula and 30 to 60 days so you can read this yourself. So here it is. Okay, so the two takeaways from the statistics. Number one, just because Temecula's average home list price has gone up doesn't mean the market's gone up. You can see clearly, yes, has it gone up a little? $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. The average list price has gone from, what was it, $699 to $729, but they're not getting much more. So just be very aware if you're a buyer or a seller on both cases that bottom line, the market has really leveled off. So reaching as a seller is not going to get you anywhere. And as a buyer, you have to understand what the comps are in the last 60 days in that vicinity or neighborhood. You do not want to overpay. It's not that you're still going to have an appraisal, and number one, the appraisal might not come in and you're wasting money and time and the seller doesn't want to drop the price. So just be aware as a buyer, you really have to understand what the current market value is, and it really hasn't changed in the last 60 days. Closed sales have fallen off a cliff. I'm really not too worried about it. If this was July, August, May, it would be really, really weird. But because it's December, I'm not going to bring up the charts, but every December, listing homes, the number of listed homes just legit just goes straight down. And then as you can see in January, February, it goes straight back up. So I'm not really worried about the closed sales because we're in the slower time of the year. The only thing you could argue is that some of these are from the last 30 days, which is October. And although October is generally a little slower, it's nothing compared to November and December. So when the data for December comes out, it's probably going to be off the charts in regards to how many newly listed properties there are, and also how many closed properties actually closed in December. Okay, so next up, Murrieta, and I'm going to put the data for Murrieta on the screen right now so you can take a look at that. Okay, so one of the takeaways I wanted to talk about with Murrieta is I've said this for so long to so many sellers, is that if you get your price right or even list it a little bit under market, you're probably in the end going to get more. And that's exactly what happened in Murrieta. From 30 to 60 days, the average list price was $709 and the average sold price was $692. But in the last 30 days, the average list price has dropped to $699, which is about $10,000, but the average sold price actually went up $10,000. Now, you could take that for what it's worth. Point being is, if you're a seller right now, in my opinion, this would be the best time in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, this is not 2020, when you can pretty much 2022, where you just list your home for whatever you want and somebody's willing to pay cash or pay the difference in the appraisal. Really focus on making sure that when you're listing your property, it is at or a little bit below what the market is at right now. You don't want to be sitting on this home for 60 days. I'm telling you, you're going to lose 10, 15, 20 grand on this home. Plus, you don't know where the market's going. December's not going to be good. What happens if if there is a little bit of a downturn in January, February, March? You could end up losing $20,000, $30,000 on the sale because you're wanting $15,000 or $20,000 over what the market bears at this specific time. And the one thing I wanted to mention for both cities, the days on the market on average skyrocketed from, 3, 4, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. I remember doing market updates when the average days on market were anywhere from 3 to 5 days, 3 to 8 days. And now we're up to, let's just say, average of 35 to 41 on closed sales. So you just have to be patient and make sure that patience is obviously important, but it all comes back to just make sure you're listing your property at the correct price. Once you get to that 80, 90, 100 days, any buyer that looks at those days on the market are obviously going to be asking questions. What's wrong with this house? Why isn't it sold? It's obviously overpriced. I don't even want to go look at it. Okay, so what does this mean? In my opinion, for December, it is going to be very, very slow. There's going to be very few closings. There could be a slowdown in regards to what people are willing to pay. I'm not as worried about December. If this pushes into January, late January, early February, then I'm going to have something to worry about, or everybody's going to have something to worry about, especially if you're a seller, on where home prices are going. But don't worry about December. It always falls off a cliff. Okay, so buyers right now, you have more flexibility. You have more power as a buyer. You're not going to get in bidding wars. Again, as I mentioned earlier on the video, just make sure that you are absolutely exact in regards to what the home is worth. Sometimes the appraisal, even if you're $10,000 or $15,000 over what the actual value or value of the home is, a lot of times the appraisal might still come in, but that's not good for you. What you want to do is either buy a home right at market value, or even a better case scenario, a little under what the market bears. If you're a seller, be prepared. If you overprice your home, you're going to lose 3 to 5% off the sales price. The escrow is going to be more difficult because the buyer's going to have the leverage. You're going to repair more stuff. You're going to have to do more things. So I don't necessarily think that, if you sell in 50 or 60 days, you're going to lose 6 or 7%, but it is going to make your life a little more difficult, because in the back of the buyer's mind, any good agent is going to be like, you're going to ask for this, 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 and this, because they haven't sold in 60 days. They're not going to sell. So get everything you possibly can. So just sellers, be aware of that. That would be my only point for you moving forward.